There's their team. Have a look at number 6, Kaluchnikov. He's from the Podmoskovia club here in Moscow. Number 8 is Yanushkin, the dynamic, charismatic Yanushkin. And number 10, Artemyev, is the very experienced player from his time in Ireland and in England. The Spanish team, well, they have recently re-qualified for the full IRB Sevens tour next year. So they're a higher ranked team than the Russians, who just missed out on qualifying. But there's the Spanish team for this action today. They're captained by number 4, Pablo Feijoo, who is coming off the bench in this game. With me is Ben Gollings. A bit of a breeze cooling things down just a little bit today, Ben, but still stifling conditions, really.
It is. Certainly the sun's not out, which is helping, but there's still that bit of humidity, and the heat is still there. And it's tough conditions for these players.
We saw the Russian team really give the crowd something to cheer about. There is Alexander Yanushkin, the diminutive number 8 scrum half, and there's the Russian Federation flag blocking the view temporarily of one of the fans in the stands. And if the Russians can continue the form they made and the steady progress really they've made here, they lost to Australia 21-0, which wasn't a bad effort. Then they narrowly lost to Scotland 21-5, and then drew with Japan 12-all. The referee for this one is the equally charismatic Rasta Rasavengi from South Africa. He does the little Superman thing with his shirt, pulls it open, just so he makes a little gesture. He's just a teeny guy. You can see how small he is compared with Yanushkin, who we know is tiny. He's just 166 meters tall, the Russian scrum half, and so our referee is just a little bit taller.
Keith, the Russian men would like to carry on the performance of the Russian women last night when they beat England.
That's exactly right. That was the climax of the second day's play. The Russian women came out wearing the same white, red and blue colours and absolutely thrilled the crowd with a win. And no doubt Coach Alexenko of the men's team would love the men to do the same and make progress for Russian men's sevens as well.
And it's a good test for them, knowing that Spain are now a full qualified team again on the RB series, to show that they are able to compete at that level too.
So we'll identify some of the personalities for you in this game. And this is the first good run by Pedro Martin, a very big try scorer on the World Tour this year. But there's some good play by the Russians. Wrenching it clear is Ilya Babayev. And there's the halfway stripe, carried on by Goroshilov. And they move the ball wide, trying to drive up towards the halfway. Vasily Artemyev. Now, if he, number 10, gets any space, it's going to be good night Gracie, because he's got real speed. I'm not sure what the Russian equivalent of good night Gracie is. That comes from an old USA radio show from years ago. Gracie Allen, for goodness sake, delving deep in the memory banks here in commentary today. And he's with the ball again. This Artemyev trying to find that space, but he's well marked.
He is. Russia here just holding on to the ball. It's just...
Oh, there might be a yellow there. What do we say there?
Yeah, well, you cannot play the halfback over the scrum, so over the ruck, sorry. So it's good results here for Russia. They're keeping the ball well, which will frustrate the Spanish. And it is about patience. Hold on to the ball, hold on to the ball. Wear these teams down, wear down a defence, and you'll get a reward from it.
Now, Pedro Martin, what did you think? Was there a case for it was a deliberate swing down of the hand over the open palm?
Well, certainly when they talk of the zero tolerance, for me that is almost a professional foul, if you like.
Okay, number 9 is Galanowski. Oh, this is nice. Have they got one over? Away goes Babayev, and he flies at the corner. Ilya Babayev.
Well, Russia stretching the Spanish here, and it's a missed tackle. The Spanish will be frustrated here. You can't afford to miss tackles, and he's too strong, too close to the try line there. great finish from Babayev.
Big determination by Babayev. 24 years of age. He's been around the tour for, well, this is his 3rd season. And he's a winger and centre in the 15-a-side game as well. There is a nice kick from Jan Yushkin, but no goal, so it's 5-0. Try for Babayev. Well, the Spanish have had hardly any possession.
No, you can see that there. 2 passes to 14. They'll be wanting to get their hands on the ball here now and make their own tack work for them, having defended for quite a long period of time.
So remember, this is a bowl quarter-final. The Spanish team are ranked higher than the Russians. The Russians are playing at home. Martin Heredia is number 6. And number 5 is Lavino. And this is their best runner, Martin, but they've caught him. Russians scrambling their defense. Now the change of direction puts Heredia close to the line, 5 meters out. In goes Martin, Pedro Martin, number 7. The Russians swarm down. Their number 7 is Groshelov. Good work in there by Kuluchnikov, the local player. And now they're trying to bring it up from the backfield. Babayev. They will try to bring space for Vasily Artemyev. Remember, number 10. He's the guy with speed out wide.
Well, it was little Alexander Yanyushkin leading from the front there, clearing out rucks, the smallest man on the field. Working hard for his team, Russia.
There he is there, number 8 to the left, clearing away nicely. Gosh, he's a man of many talents and places. There's Grezev, number 12, takes it into Spanish territory. 2 minutes to go first half. The Russians leading by 5-0, and now they try to break it out. Marcus Podji, and very good work again by number 8, Jan Yushkin. This is Podji now, Marcus Podji. Galanowski.
Contest is good.
Oh, a lovely flat pass. Another try coming up for the Russians.
Well, it's a big passage of play.
And that's Igor Galanowski who scores it.
Both teams throwing themselves at it there. Ball changing hands on a number of occasions, but for Russia, it ended up in the hands of Jan Yushkin, who's seen his player coming onto it. Number 9, Galanowski, like a steam train. You're not going to stop that.
Nice from Krasnoyar. Now, we've been getting tweet messages from all over the world. One tells me that this is the most significant club in Russian rugby. Look at the build of this guy, Ben.
Yeah, he's a big, strong boy, and it's very notable out here at the moment. The Russians are playing a very physical, go-forward game, and it is working well for them. Especially when you look at the likes of Vladimir Ostrushko, who's on the bench, who's one of their most powerful players. Interested to see if he gets a run in the second half.
Well, look at the missed tackles by Spain, 5 of them there, and completion rate for the Russians, very good indeed. And let's see how the possession comes from the kickoff. Very good kickoff once again by Jan Yushkin, who really is showing us the full deck of cards in this game, isn't he? But here's a chance for Espana. The bounce is kind, but he took his eye off the ball. You could see that from Pablo Feijoo. And the captain, it's the classic, isn't it? Eye on the ball. It's true in every sport. He did such good work here.
He is, and it's so uncharacteristic from the likes of Pablo Feijoo, who is a quality player, and he's a big player for Spain, but I think he thought he'd scored the try before he already had.
Yeah, you could see his head turn, therefore takes his eyes away from the prize, and it is a save there for Russia. Jan Yushkin, and taking the ball over the dead ball line, signals the end of the first half. Entertaining stuff. There's the man that scored the second try, Igor Galanowski. Jan Yushkin leading the way. Babayev scored the other one, 12-0 to the home team. Okay, not so. This is Ignacio Inchalti.
De verdad que tenéis el partido ahí. Pelearlo, buscarlo. Pero no podéis cometer errores. Salir a por el
Ir a
partido.
por el partido, lo tenéis.
Vamos a volver a lo viejo, a hacer fases y fases y fases. Abrir el balón. Pasa lo que pasa. Sufrimos hasta el final. Vale, que bajamos todo, ¿eh? 1, 2, 3. Vamos, 3.
Well, it's a real chance here for Russia, ahead 12-0 as the second half is about to begin.
I think the Spanish coach there showing a little bit of frustration, knowing his team is underselling its hand at the moment. They're not performing at the level he wants them to perform. He's saying there, keep hold of the ball and keep taking the game to the Russians now. You've had your opportunities, you've got to finish them.
So there's Glenn Rolls, the player of New Zealand extraction. He's been on the tour for a while from the Hawke's Bay region of New Zealand. The referee is Rasta Rasavengi. Second half begins and Spain in the red. The short kick-off and they have possession. They're behind by 12-0 against the swarming Russians, who've made some changes. Have they? Goroshilov done it. He was on the first half. Now, the Spanish need to get into this. They're not out of the game at all. They need two scores at least to get the lead.
Well, I thought the referee blew the whistle a bit early there. Looked like a breakaway to me. I thought they had plenty of opportunity, but he's called it back to reset a scrum for the Spanish.
Translation at halftime of the Russian coach: play carefully in defense, says Alexander Alexenko. Now this is pushed ahead by Poggi. The bounce is cruelled in kind. Lavigno, and there they go for the first try. Well, bit of justice there that Pablo Feju, who missed a chance up at the other end, has scored it to put Spain on the board.
Well, good choice of kick here from Marcus Poggi, and it's great to see the follow-up of his teammates, because often a bounce doesn't go your way, but he's gone straight into his teammates' hands. And then, as always, Pablo Feju, he's always on hand, always on support, and often scoring those tries for Spain.
Well, I don't like to see the boot extended it when the try is scored. That's a kind of conduct unbecoming for rugby union. But referee Rasavengi was right there, and no decision against the player involved, and their try is converted, so that's brought about a change now. 12-7. Spain are within striking distance. Another 7-pointer, of course, would take them into the lead.
Absolutely, and it's surprising, since Pablo Feju's been on, he started to make a difference in the attacking game of the Spanish, and I was surprised that he didn't start the game.
Okay, this one's gone on the side of the Russians, but very quick work in there by Matthias Tudela.
Chance for the Russians now to recompose them in the second half with first touch of the ball.
So the big man there is Lazarenko. Oh, it's slippery down in that corner, but a nice clearance by Perov. Galanovsky. Artemyev, number 10. Whoa, here come the Spanish. Look at that. 3-4-1. Artemyev. He'd love to find just a little bit of gas room. And it's gone on the Spanish side. No, it's not. It's with the Russians again. Up to halfway they come. And it's Ostushko. Oh, lovely chase. Brings him down inside the 22. There's your man.
There he is. We said he had power, he had strength, and he showed it there. Great step back off, and again beating the Spanish defence. But unfortunately here, just letting it go forward as he tried to get up and play it, as he knew he was isolated.
A couple of players down there. Number 1 to the right for the Russians, Ostushko. Some of our our people say wouldn't look out of place in a much higher level of the game in, say, France or England.
Well, yeah, he's a big, strong boy, and he's always making game-changing chances for Russia.
Well, that's an interesting looking cultural tattoo on the New Zealand, on the Spanish player as he leaves the field.
Come back on, back.
So that's Glenn Rolls leaving. Oh, 50-50 ball out in front of the post, dangerous for the Spanish team and lost forward. It's going to be a good chance for the Russians to take it out further than the lead they have now.
We don't get much better attacking positions than this, right in front of the post, with the scrum giving you room either side to play the ball.
Okay, the man off the bench is Dmitry Perov. Oh, bustled. Feijoo, and they've got the free kick. And away go the Spanish. Now this becomes a critical part of the game. Here is Irabiri, the man who plays his rugby in Biarritz Olympique in France, pushed ahead by Matthias Tudela. Now, here is Artemiev.
What do you want?
Referee has gone back.
In front of the kicker.
Man in front of the kicker.
Yeah, I was wondering if referee would pick that up. Player was well in front.
Penalty. Right. Number 4 offside.
Shame, really. Actually thought
In front of the kicker.
Spanish hold on to the ball still, keep going forward, and then try and play your teammate back in behind you. Key at this time now to keep ball in hand for Spain.
Okay, here comes Dmitry Perov. He's been around a long time as well. He made his debut for the Russians back in 2005. And he's got it on the loop. Up to halfway they come. Can they get it? Oh, Galinovsky's got it again. Oh, big power! Big lead now for the Russian Federation. Igor Galinovsky scores his second.
And it's the pace in which the Russians put onto the ball here that's the difference in the attack. Galinovsky coming on and just gives himself half a yard of fend, and then over the line. Quality attack there from Russia.
Well, they made the Rugby World Cup 15s finals in New Zealand in 2011. To host the Rugby World Cup 7s is a further climb up international recognition. And now are they on the verge of having their first win in the men's competition with the 7s World Cup to match what the women did 24 hours earlier. It's a good lead at 17-7 and just minutes to play.
I think they're comfortable here at the moment. They've just got to make sure now they try and retain this kickoff and don't give the Spanish any more opportunity in this game.
So another local player here is Perov from the Podmoskva club here in Moscow.
The ball here too. Charles Vincent.
Referee picked up on them playing the man without the ball. Now desperate Spanish team. They won't get there, will they? With just seconds to remain, they've got to score at least twice to get the lead. So we're on the verge of a very good moment here for the Russian rugby scene for men. They're going to score a win at their own World Cup tournament and progress further with the possibilities of further wins in the third day's play. This will probably go to touch to allow them to rest up, but this is nice and significant for them, Ben Gollings.
It is. It's a great way for them to finish and a great confident starter to the rest of the day. And Russia will target this bowl now. That's theirs to win here at home in Moscow.
3 tries to 1. The Russians have beaten Spain by 17-7 in this bowl quarterfinal.
Russia's Vasily Artemiev. Vasily, you did what you didn't do yesterday. You started well. Was that the key?
Yeah, it was the key today. We finally got our first win of the competition, so we're very pleased. Obviously, a few areas we can tighten up even more and be solid, more solid in defense. But all the credit to the boys. We showed a good performance today, and I hope we can build it during the day.
Thanks, Vasily.